teasing that ring with his pole. Stop it.
You know what, JLP? I'm gonna miss you. With Australian Survivor vs. the World being JLP's very last season, a topic I will get into later in the video, it got me thinking about the menagerie of Survivor hosts we have across the world. Being a Survivor host is tricky. With a constantly changing cast, it's up to you to be the force that holds the franchise together. It's up to you to drive the tribal councils, to ask the difficult questions, to commentate on the game, but also to take a step back and understand when the players are making amazing TV happen. And each host comes with their own unique style and flavour. The complexity of the role got me thinking, which Survivor host is the best? So today I'm going through several Survivor hosts.
Last I checked, several means 7.
To figure out which ones I like and what actually makes for a good host of the show. And you know what? I'm going to put them on a tier list. Is that still a thing that's popular on YouTube? Am I out of date? If you're curious, I'll specifically be talking about US Survivor, Australian Survivor, South African Survivor, New Zealand Survivor, UK Survivor, Finnish Survivor, and Quebec Survivor. If your Survivor isn't on here, I'm very sorry. But if you have any insights about the host of Polish Survivor, let me know. I'm on the edge of my goddamn seat just thinking about it. Let's get into it. Alright, I have a lot of words to say about Jeff Probst. Honestly, I could make an entire video going through the history of Jeff Probst. After 25 years of hosting Survivor, what exactly is there left that hasn't already been said before? If you have a style of Jeff you prefer, there is a Jeff out there for you. If you want a Jeff who awkwardly hangs out with the castaways, a Jeff who isn't entirely sure what he's actually supposed to be doing at any time, and just throws random ideas at the wall in a desperate hope that he can scratch something together.
Gonna try a couple of things differently tonight. One is this conch shell.
And you've got Survivor Borneo. Man, when I rank every season before Survivor 50, I'm gonna have a hard time ranking Borneo. I can't decide if it's secretly the best season ever or not. But we got to watch Jeff slowly get more assured of himself. Even Jeff in Amazon is a completely different beast to Jeff in Borneo. He's got bite to him. He better understands the game. He's willing to completely dog on castaways for being bad.
We thought we were going to get beat on the mental side, and they actually beat us on the physical side. And that was a shock.
No, they beat you all the way around.
If you want a Jeff wearing a funny hat, you've got Cook Islands. If you want a Jeff that's absolutely miserable, you've got Gabon and Nicaragua.
You want to go?
Yes.
Go.
And of course, Jeff does what every good Survivor host should do. He talks about balls.
Which is worse, balls separating or balls clanging together? Both give you that uncomfortable feeling.
I think slipping innuendos about balls without laughing at yourself is actually part of the job interview to become Survivor host. It feels weird to say considering I'm talking about a man going from 35 to 62, but it really does feel like we've seen Jeff grow up in a way. We got 17 seasons of him being the host, and then he became executive producer, and we could see his vision slowly take hold of what Survivor would become. We saw him become enamored with big moves, we saw him salivating over the notion of voting blocks or trust clusters, and we've seen him slowly but surely add more and more twists to the game. But how is he as a host? As I've said, it kind of entirely depends on what season you're watching. Honestly, we could give Jeff like 6 different entries on this tier list. There was a popular theory, and one I kind of subscribed to, that after the pandemic we were starting to get what I referred to as Grandpa Jeff. Someone would argue it began around the Surrey on the balance beam moment in Game Changers. He'd spent plenty of time being mean to people, and he wanted to slow down and enjoy life a bit more. I'm just saying, old Probst would not have let Heather away with this performance in Survivor 41. But then in Survivor 46, he kinda came back.
How long do you think you would last, Jeff?
Oh, longer than 20 seconds.
It's like Ben said.
I thought Spicy Jeff was back in season.
Oh, Spicy Jeff is back.
So I'm willing to say that when it's called for, Jeff still has what it takes to be a great host. As a host, I think Jeff sets the bar pretty high. He's great at commentating challenges, especially when he decides to dunk on Katie for absolutely no reason.
Katie really slowing him down on a very easy portion of this challenge.
He's seemingly on the pulse at all times when it comes to tribal council. I could stand for a few fewer metaphors.
I feel like it's a birthday party that your mom kind of makes your go-to, right? And you don't like the kid whose birthday party it is, and we don't want to go to it. We all love each other.
Oh, tribal is the birthday party for the kid you don't like.
And I may not love him as an executive producer, but I think he's a pretty damn good host. Maybe I'm only remembering the good times, but I'm definitely putting him in S tier. For please make more sassy Jeff Probst videos. Ego Turtle, I'm calling you out. I live for these. Alright, now it's time for JLP. When Australian Survivor first started, I was not sure of this man. He almost felt too cool to be a Survivor host. Jeff is a lot of things. I don't think anyone would accuse him of being unironically a cool guy. But it turns out once you get past the big, bulging muscles and epic, deep voice, this guy's a massive dork. Woods is perfect for Survivor host. You do not want to have someone who will steal the limelight from the castaways. JLP started a bit stiff and he had his awkward moments. My personal favorite one was when he waited 50 years for Henry to play his idol.
If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they want to play it, now will be the time to do so.
You could tell he was sure Henry would play it, and it's small moments like these that show he didn't quite have it all figured out immediately. But JLP really came into his own as the show went on, and he's probably better at innuendos than even Jeff is.
Halen just punishing his log. At that cord, give it a good yank to release that nutsack. Busting nut after nut.
People may have varied opinions on Jeff, but I think almost everyone agrees that JLP is an amazing host. Well, why would you go and do that? Genuinely one of the most baffling moments in reality TV history. And it happened the day I moved to Australia. I'm sorry guys, I think it might actually be my fault. And they're replacing him with David, someone who does not have the qualities that I think make for a good Survivor host. A good Survivor host needs to ensure that the castaways are the stars, and I don't know if David can do that. I'm willing to give him a shot, but if he is just like he is on the island, I do not have my hopes high. I got the chance to meet Stevie at a Women in Engineering event recently, and he shared with me a story of how JLP came to talk to him after his blindside in Heroes vs Villains, and just gave him a really long hug. I'm sure there are dozens of more player stories about JLP out there. He will sorely be missed, and he is 100% going in S tier. If you like Probst better, that's fine, I genuinely can't pick. Also, I'm not talking about the two hosts of the original Australian Survivor seasons, mainly because they're both bad. We got these seasons instead of Survivor Marquesas in New Zealand. Isn't that nice? Next up is Nico from Survivor South Africa. Again, I would talk about Mark Bailey, who hosted Survivor South Africa seasons 1 and 2, but does anyone have anything they desperately want to hear me say about Mark Bailey? I don't think so. Nico, on the other hand, we may be 3 for 3 in amazing Survivor hosts. I promise soon we'll get to the bad ones, but Nico is a different brand of Survivor host. There's almost no cheese when Nico is hosting. He is a man with a presence on screen unlike any other Survivor host. He almost reminds me of a mafia boss in a way, and yet he still has all the makings of a good Survivor host. If you want to see some excellent hosting, I highly recommend Survivor South Africa Immunity Island, specifically the final several tribal council. He knows exactly when to let the castaways speak, let them air their grievances, but then he's immediately back on them. He points out where the castaways are being hypocrites, and yet he does it in a way that they really can't argue. It is 100% a boss move, and while Jeff has moments like this, I don't think any rival the presence on display in this scene. I'll play a quick clip, but I really don't think I can do it justice in this video.
All right, let's go back to the legalities of the issue, because I think really that's at the heart of the matter, isn't it? What is allowed, what's not allowed. So let's talk about the stealing from rewards. Definitely illegal. You guys have got sticky fingers.
But Nico will be losing some points. I think it's fair to say he doesn't entirely have his own identity as a host. I feel like JLP has really defined himself as different to Jeff. While if you look at Nico and Probst, you can pretty clearly see the inspiration being drawn here. I'm going to put Nico in A tier, and just say that while I like him, and wish Survivor South Africa hadn't been cancelled, there's still a bit of room for improvement, and a bit of room to really define himself as his own host. Also, he doesn't make as many innuendos as Jeff or JLP, so really there was no chance of him getting S tier. Come on now. I think Matt from Survivor New Zealand, no, the host, wins the award for most genuine Survivor host. Matt kind of feels like if a random bloke wandered onto the set of Survivor, got handed Jeff's outfit, and was told to go host the season. Does that make him a bad host? Not necessarily. Let's just say he's certainly a bit rough around the edges. I would describe him as fine. His challenge commentary was fine. His questions at Tribal were fine. His presence was fine. I did enjoy hearing more Kiwisms on Survivor.
Fill your boot.
Thank you very much, man.
Young woman.
Yay.
I think I got a lot of novelty out of just seeing a Kiwi in this position, but it's not really enough to carry him on this tier list. I also don't remember too many innuendos from Matt, but it has been a hot minute since I actually sat down to watch through the entirety of Survivor New Zealand. I will do it again one day, but I'm not currently strong enough to sit through it again. Oh, also, I'm sure his pronunciation of Nicaragua is more correct than Jeff's.
This is Nicaragua.
This is Nicaragua.
But because Jeff said it first, I cannot deal with this. Also, I cannot deal with him saying the slogan wrong.
Can outwit, outlast, and outplay the rest.
Matt was a serviceable host, and I'm sure with more time he would have ended up as a great one, but based on where we left him, he's going into B tier. Joel from Survivor UK, remember this guy? Remember the season of the show? Again, I don't care about the first 2 seasons of UK Survivor. They didn't have particularly good hosts, and those UK seasons were not particularly good, so don't worry about it. Survivor UK 3 is a weird one, because Joel is a very different host than everyone else we've talked about so far. He is a comedian, as in literally that's his job. And boy howdy, it definitely shows in the hosting.
You're not going to win at the end if no one likes you, to be fair, are you?
Like school for me.
Furthermore, I don't know if I can count this against Joel, but they have him do this bizarre narration. It just comes across as so forced.
As Lanena embrace the day, Calaton are coming to terms with the fact that they have the creatures, but not the comfort.
I understand Survivor is a complicated game. I've had to explain it to lots of people who've never seen it before, and normally they just look at me like I'm insane. And the people in the UK literally had no legal way to watch Survivor before this season aired. But my god, this season was a weird one to get through, and Joel's hosting style was a big part of it. Far too much comedy, which as a comedian myself, I thought I would appreciate a lot more than I did. Was he the worst host? No. He's easily the best host Survivor UK has ever had, and it feels a bit unfair to rank him like this, because a lot of my problems with him hosting are actually problems with how production chose to use him. I know it's not his fault, and much like Matt, if he'd been given a few more seasons, I could really see small changes going a long way to making him more palatable. But for now, he's going in the C tier. Alright, 2 more hosts from seasons I've seen. We have Patrice from Survivor Quebec. This video was originally going to be just me talking about Survivor Quebec, but then I watched this clip.
Un grand voleur du côté de Nawa en Jean-Michel. Pendant qu'Olivier se tiraillait avec le masque, t'as décidé de profiter des palmes qu'il avait lancées au sol. T'as ça en toi de voler les gens comme ça?
And I realized something. This guy may be one of the greatest hosts of all time. He is 100% one of the most intense hosts, but I think that's just a byproduct of the French language. I haven't seen all of Survivor Quebec just yet, but I've been told by one of my subscribers, you know who you are, that there's a real mischievous streak in him, and really loves putting players on the spot. If anything, he may be a bit too involved. He may be a bit too much of a pot stirrer. Understand that every host has the capability to alter the outcome of the game if they've really tried. Jeff's even done it a few times, let me know if you want a video on that. But Patrice is the first host where I feel like they show it to us. Still, I love the energy he brings, he's going in the B tier. Last but not least, we have Yusuf from Survivor Finland. This host is bad. He's lifeless. In my last video all about Survivor Finland, I did not mention the host a single time. That is because I genuinely forgot he's a part of the show. He doesn't really contribute anything. It took my commenters pointing out that I forgot to talk about him to make me realize that I had nothing to say. He'll occasionally spit out a metaphor about how the challenge may relate to a castaway's profession. He'll commentate the challenges. He's there, but he could probably just be an email. Anyway, this host is getting D tier, and that's my ranking of every Survivor host that I've seen. You may be wondering why no one got F tier? That's because I know for a fact some Survivor hosts are even worse than what we talked about today. I just don't have the resources to prove it. The host of Survivor Russia playing an idol on her favorite castaway? That's F tier behavior right there. And if David cannot live up to the standard that JLP has set, I have a spot on this list with his name on it. What do you think? Who's your favorite host in Survivor history? Does your country have any unique stories about their Survivor host? Let me know. I've just realized now I didn't talk at all about Koh Lanta, probably the other biggest Survivor franchise out there. Tell me about Koh Lanta if you can. And you know what? Subscribe while you're down there. Until next time, I've been Henry Hickman Survivor, and I'll see you at the audition to replace Probst.